Heroes and Legends for the Holy War, Episode 11. A massive battle begins with Omri Manica and his cousin C Manica and their forces wage war with the Batelican forces. This war was key in order for the Manicans to gain a significant victory in this chaotic holy war. However, they did not anticipate the arrival of Betha. Betha, the leader of the Batelica, a prime and one of the four great friends and leaders of the Batelican Empire, and friends of the Emperor herself, Akari Urkasian. Betha used her mighty weapon, a mighty club, and started to pubble and to destroy and obliterate the Manican forces. Stunned and shocked by all of this, C used his strength and his sword to confront Betha. Omri was still fighting elite Batelican troops, as they were numerous and they were everywhere. As the battle raged on, C was struggling against Betha, and Betha easily subdued C, flying him away, and his sword went down. However, Omri refused to give up, and he went to fight Betha, the leader of the UDN and the leader of the Batelica. These forces were fighting each other. However, Betha's might as a prime was too much even for the UDN leader to handle. He was pushed back and knocked down. As a result of this, Betha laughed and said, "Is this the best the insurance could do? You are no worthy to call yourselves equal to the might of the Batelican, let alone the Billdaron Empire. The insurance shall serve the Billdaron now. How ironic." Then she put her club on her shoulder and smiled confidently of her victory. "Now you lot will die. Surrender, and I will spare you, as you all will serve the Emperor Akari Urkasian from this day forward." Struggling to get up, Omri had his own sword on his hand, and then he reached out for C's sword to try to do something. However, when C's sword was in the hands of Omri, a great power surged through Omri's body. It was like nothing no one has ever witnessed. Betha was taken aback, and the force that was projecting out of Omri pushed Betha back. She was stunned. "What wickedness is this?" she exclaimed. And then Omri's whole appearance changed. The two swords were light up and burning with dark purple flames. Omri's appearance had looked slightly different. His hair was spiked, his eyes grew dark purple, and he talked as though three persons were talking at the same time. "You," Omri then explained, "you think that I will bow down to you? You Billdaron, know your place." And then Omri slashed one of his swords towards Betha's direction. She tried to block it, but she was pushed back greatly. She was stunned. Then Omri continued, "I don't know what had happened. That foolish Kinkolo. Imbeciles. How could you let the Batelican, let alone the Billdaron of all people, rule the universe? What has happened to the might of the insurance?" And then Omri got the next sword and swing it at Betha. This time Betha's club flew out of her hand and she went to the ground. And then she started to use hand-to-hand combat. However, Omri then flipped his swords around and hit Betha with both handles of two of his swords, and she went flat on her back, injured. Omri continued, "The only one that will be serving who is you serving me." And then Omri used the two swords and then was about to stab Betha to death. And then suddenly Omri began to fight this sudden possession of his body and soul. Ugh, stop it. Get out of me. Who are you? Ah! As Omri began to struggle with his inner demons, Betha asked one of her troops to gain her to safety. During the confusion and chaos, and Omri's complete difference them in appearance, he was not himself. And as a result, the Batelican forces, bewildered, believed that a powerful Orician had appeared on the battlefield, as they already saw Omri was defeated by Betha. During the Batelican retreat, Betha had succumbed to her injuries, and as she was being transported to safety, she then cried out, "My friend, my friends, I'm sorry, my lady. You'll have to take the drink some other time." She was referring to the drink they was going to have together as four friends, for Miss Laura, Akari, and Betha, after this war was won. The great leader of the Batelican had succumbed to injuries and had fallen, and it was the Oricians that were going to take the blame. Omri then threw both swords down as he told his troops to guide him out of there and to safety. He was not sure what powers had possessed him, but however, he knew that this was a turning point in the war. So he exclaimed that they should take the credit, but they were advised by Barley not to do so, as the Batelican leader was a close friend to the Billdaron Emperor, and the Billdaron's retaliation would be great and massive and brutal. And if the Oricians were to take the full brunt of the Billdaron's retaliation, then it would give the UDN time to recover from their recent losses in this war and build back up their strength. Omri then agreed, as he needed to learn the reasons behind these strange new powers. Elsewhere, within the camp of the main castle of the Toyo dynasty, Nuru, the head chef of Nakuvi, was making a fine dinner for all the generals and leaders of the Oricians. Bear Balmuso and his forces were sitting down, enjoying themselves, having a drink, as the war was greatly entertaining, and he looked forward to more action. And then others were complaining that their forces had to do things that they would not normally do. For example, Walls was disappointed that she had to cut down the Macedonians instead of occupying them under her control after she worked so hard in the past to do so. Catherine was thankful to her mother for saving her, and the three Sun Insurance sisters tried to cheer her up, as Catherine was growing continually discontented with serving her wicked father in this war. However, news would soon report to the Oricians that the Billdaron's top commander, Betha, had perished, and the Billdaron's retaliation was going to be fierce against them. Balmuso and Kaklan were excited for the battles ahead. Others were mourning and groaning. The emperor of the Emperor Tuya, of the Tuya dynasty, was livid. War was soon going to come directly to them. However, Juan, his elite general, cautioned his lord not to question Nakuvi's intentions, as that would make certain death for all of them. And so the emperor of the Tuya dynasty steadied his hand. Sarkis went to tell his lord the happenings. Nakuvi knew exactly what had happened, but however, he just smiled, and he said, the Billdaron's retaliation would be their undoing. The beginnings of the end of their empire has finally arrived.